Welcome back to Fairytale Anime Review Special number 1. Yeah, this one's, like I said in the last video, this one I'm talking about the manga because the manga just ended, so I'm going to get my overall thoughts on it. It's overall a really good manga, and I think that the season coming out next year is probably going to adapt the last 139 chapters. Yeah, I think it's 139. Yeah, 139 because when the anime ended with season 7, they only got to pretty much around the first 416 chapters. I don't really know why they ended the anime did, but the main story stuff basically ended 2 years ago, and I'm a little surprised I bring it back now. Well, I'm glad if I can bring it back so they can at least finish adapting the manga. So yeah, but in the manga, there are stuff basically you don't see in the show that is in the manga. Basically, you get a chance to see several characters in the nude. You don't see for the ladies, you don't see their groin area. You don't see it at all. That is never shown. All you get is their chest, which their nipples are covered up by their hair, and you get a chance to see their rear ends. A lot. There's even some fan service for the ladies because, well, a few of the male characters do show off their rear ends as well. I think the only ones I can think of who actually do that is Natsu and Gray, and I think Alfred. And that's it. Those are the ones I can think of who actually show off some fan service. For basically male fan service for the ladies. So it's equal, which you gotta praise the artist. What's his name? The guy who created the fairy tale manga. Hiro Mashima, I think it's the pronounce the guy's name. Yeah, despite the fact he shows up a lot of fan service, so like a lot of stuff, like a lot of female fan, like showing stuff for his male readers, basically showing a lot of ladies in nude. At least he's equal about it. He shows the guys in nude as well, so equal opportunists there. The final chapter, basically, the final arc, it's interesting for what it is. Gray and Lavaja, I think it's the pronounce name, they do become official couple by the end, and I do like their relationship. The fact that you have Gray, you have this cold-hearted guy, and he has a woman who basically her body is made entirely of water, and she has a thing for him. And it's on very early on. Heck, he apparently finds it a bit annoying, but he comes to accept it. And they become an official couple. Heck, at one point they even briefly lived together in a house, and they shared a bed together. Yep, that's what they did. They did it during the 1 year jump. Apparently, during the 1 year jump, Lucy's the only one stayed until everybody else went away because around the time 1 year jump, basically because Natsu and Happy decided to go off for a year to do some training. Of course, when Natsu came back, he got a slightly new attire. Instead of wearing the vest he wears, it's basically kind of turned into a jacket. Excuse me. Where it's basically like long sleeves, and because of their war in the arc that in the stuff that led into him going on the journey for 1 year, yeah, the guild gets briefly disbanded for a year, and of course it comes back and they go on their regular missions, and it's pure fun. When the manga ended, they finally defeat the bad guy, and then in the final chapter, Lucy releases her book, and apparently it's a big hit. And then later on, Natsu decided to take her, Urza, Gray, Lavada, and Happy on a 100-year quest. And that's where the manga ends. Even though that's sort of a brief thing, basically what it is, but the manga itself is pure fun. It's a really good manga. It's got a good story to it. I kind of breezed through it in basically a week. I read it online, basically either both Kiss Manga and Manga Reel. That's what the websites I actually read the manga on. I'm not going to leave links in below because I did not want to get these sites shut down due to, well, copyright stuff. So you have to look them up basically at your own leisure. But yeah, the manga itself, like I said, is really good. I kind of wish basically when the manga, when that last chapter thing, it was a good chapter. It was memorable. I just kind of wish they would do something a little bit more. Like, maybe the writer can do some light novels. Like Naruto's got some light novels. Though only about 6 of them have been released here. Viz Media is really lazy about that. Yeah, the last book came out this past March. But anyways, Fairy Tail can use some light novels, basically telling stories of what happened during the 100-Year Quest, because there's probably a bunch of story to tell there. There is some things I would have loved to see, like Natsu and Lucy officially become a couple. Though I heard something that apparently 100 Quest apparently as Fairy Tail Dragon Cry. This, I think the film came out. I think it came out just recently. I have to look it up. Yeah, I think the film was just released just recently. Yeah, it's a brand new film. Let's see. Dragon Cry was released this past May. Yeah, and apparently this is supposed to be the 100-Year Quest. This is what I've heard, anyways. But I'm gonna get to that one along with the first film. I'll talk about those in part 9 when I get up to it. All right. Not much else I can say about the manga itself. It's collected in it basically 63 when it comes out. It's the last book, but overall there is how many volumes for the series? There are overall 63, but released so far there are, I think, 61. I think the last book came out recently. Let me look it up here. 61 came out just recently. Yeah, 61 just came out. Actually, it hasn't come out yet. Yeah, 61 has not officially. Actually, yeah, 63 comes out in a couple days. Comes out this coming Wednesday. Yeah, that's when it comes out. But the last two books come out. One comes out in September, 62, and the last book comes out in November. That's the North America release. They have not stated exactly when the Japanese release of the last two books when they expect to come out. But it's an enjoyable manga to read. I think it's 545 chapters. I got to admit, it's actually a little bit shorter than Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was like 586 chapters, so it was a little bit less than that. And Inuyasha is around the same mark as well. But it just kind of highly depends exactly how much of how long would it take to adapt 139 chapters. My personal guess, they'll probably do it maybe like 100. Maybe they might do 112 episodes. That's what they do with Yu Hakusho when they adapt 175 chapters. They just adapt to a 112 episode series. They might do the same thing for Fairy Tail. Who knows? It's supposed to come out summer of next year. That's what I've heard, which probably gives the animators plenty of time to get the thing adapted, and then later on have Filmation dub it. Okay? That's really it. Oh yeah, there's one other thing. There's this really funny moment, couple funny moments basically where Lucy's basically this is like Melling F. Natsu gets back, and Lucy's kicking up against basically Natsu's in her apartment, and he basically flips her upside down, and she's wearing a towel, and then somehow the towel just actually falls off a couple times. It's so hilarious. There's a couple really cool moments with Lucy too. One is basically when her clothes get pretty much burned by this dragon, along with a bunch of guys, and she gets thrown in Natsu's way, and what does he do? Instead of having her cover up, he basically plays on her breast. That's basically what he does. Of course, his punishment is getting slapped by her. And another really, really awesome moment is basically her. Yeah, basically because Natsu's dying, they need to take Natsu's life. So, what's the best solution? Have her stripped down to her panties, and then lay on his chest. That's basically what he did. That's what she did. And she's like, and when he wakes up, it's like, why are you topless for? And the guy who basically told her to do is like, because it's to help you. That's the reason why. It's kind of hilarious, but it's quite cute for what it is. Okay? But this is all really interesting. And also in the final chapter, I have to bring this up. Because the Gray's tendency to unintentionally strip to his underwear, Jemima does the same thing where she starts doing the same thing he does, sort of stripping out her underwear because apparently Gray does it all the time. It's funny the fact that she got that thing from him, that strange habit. But yeah, it's so hilarious. Okay, but I'm trying to think, I think that's it. So that's it for this episode. Who knows when I'll do another special, but it probably won't be immediately. It'll depend on exactly what to do special. I said this is special because, well, the manga is ended and I wanted to get my overall thoughts on it. It's a good manga. I do recommend it. But have your own opinion about the fan service stuff, but I personally enjoy the fan service because as a guy, I enjoy that. If you don't enjoy that, that's fine. But for me, I enjoy fan service. Yeah. All right. So that's it for this special. Stay tuned for part two. Probably tomorrow when I do it. Uh, yeah, that's probably when I'll do it. Well, I'll do it on season 2, and season 2 is only 24 episodes, so this won't take me too long, okay? But until then, I will see you there. Bye.